The Day Curiosity Killed the Cat, written by Marion Dorflinger, performed by Jediaiah J. Everybody knows curiosity killed the cat, but why? Why would something so benign and sweet as curiosity, this beautiful thing that inspires us to learn, why would something that good do such a terrible thing as to hunt a curious cat down and kill it? Well, I talked to the cat. And if you can trust cats and poets, you soon will know the reason why curiosity killed the cat. And then you can go back to knowing that curiosity is a beautiful thing that helps you learn and gives you the spirit of adventure. And you can be friends with curiosity again and know you're dealing with a good guy. Well, I was just minding my own business one day, and the cat came up to me, and he said, "You're Jediaiah J. the poet, aren't you?" And I said, "If you can trust me to tell you the truth, I am that poet. And you can read the stuff that I call mine, and if you think it's poetry, I didn't steal it, so yeah, that would make me a poet. But we got to have some trust here." And the cat said, "I have lived and died 8 times. This is my 9th life. After my 9th life, I reincarnate as anything I want. That's a deal I made with God and curiosity. And that's the story I'm here to tell you, because I saw one of your poems and I liked it. And I said, when I can't be a cat anymore, I'm going to try the poet thing, because you wrote one good poem." I said, "I wrote one good poem, and now I'm talking to a cat. I trust you, cat. Tell me why curiosity killed you, because everybody wants to know." Well, I was born 8 lifetimes ago, and I have lived a very long time for a cat, every one of those times. But in those days, a cat was only a cat for one lifetime. And for a cat to have a long life and be happy was the best thing there could be. Because nobody was sure about this life after death thing, and everybody thought reincarnation would be nice, and we were hopeful, but we didn't know if it was true or just wishful thinking. And I said, what would a cat do with all the years that he has to live and be the happiest? And I was inspired by curiosity to say, learn shit. So I traveled farther than any cat that has ever lived. And I learned more languages than any cat. I learned to speak human, all the languages. I learned to speak turtle and guinea pig, and I even learned to speak bird. I had to make a deal with a lot of birds. I will never kill a bird of your species, even if I'm hungry, if you will teach me how to talk bird. And that's a hell of a sacrifice, because cats get hungry, especially a cat on the roam when nobody's putting out any cat food, nobody's cleaning your litter box, you got to take care of your own shit. Well, I was a curious cat. And I got the reputation when I was a young cat as a cat who knows stuff. people and other cats and birds would come to me and say, tell me what the Great Wall of China looks like and how many bodies are buried beneath the foundation and why the hell they had to build that thing in the first place. Tell me about a great well. Tell me the life expectancy of a housefly. Tell me what a maggot does when he's not hungry. I knew that stuff. And everybody loved me. And it surprised the hell out of me when I was in Papua New Guinea and somebody said to me, hey, I saw Curiosity. He's as unhappy as hell and he's got a hammer. And we said, what do you got a hammer for? Because I'm going to hunt that curious cat down and kill it dead. You're in trouble, cat. You're going to be running your whole life long. Well, in addition to being curious, I was also pissed off at that moment. I said, I'm curious enough to wonder why that son of a bitch wants to kill me that I'm just going to let him catch up to me and do it someday. But I'm going to make him tell me why. But until then, I'm going to fuck with that son of a bitch. I am going to be the cat on the move. I'm going to let him get what's inside of me every day, and then I'm going to vanish because I know how to vanish because I'm a curious cat. I can turn into fog and smoke. I can disappear with the wind. I can be right in front of you and be gone, and you'll think you saw a ghost. But we don't know if there are ghosts because we don't know if there's life after death. And I'm curious about that one too. So when I die, I'll just let curiosity do the job. But I'm going to run him ragged till then. I lived 20 more years that time. And I worked my ass off and I went hungry. I lived 23 years, and that's a long time for a cat that don't take care of his health. And I learned everything I could, but I didn't learn half of all of it. I didn't learn enough to feel a small barn. And there's enough stuff to know to feel a universe. So someday I got to get out there in the universe, but that'll happen in another lifetime. I'll be an angel one of these days, and I can go where the hell I want. And God can't tell me not to because God made a deal. And so did curiosity. And it involved curiosity killing me. And I said, I know an honest man when I'm talking to him. And I know an honest cat. You're an honest cat. But if you weren't an honest cat, I'd say so. Because you are stretching the bounds of my incredulity. You are jeopardizing the agreement of the suspension of disbelief. If this were fiction, this would be bad fiction. But it's the truth, and I trust you. You keep talking because I've been writing the whole time. I don't go anywhere without something to put words down on. So anyway, by the way, we're on a park bench when this is going down in Columbia, Missouri. Should have told you that first. Did a bad job. Sorry. First time out and all. So, me and this cat talking. Park bench, Columbia, Missouri. The cat tells the story why curiosity killed the cat. The cat runs that son of a bitch ragged for 20 years. The cat's 23, he's curious about everything, but he's tired. And he says, I knew I was going to die that day. A cat just knows when he wakes up in the morning, this is my last day on earth. And he'll either go off somewhere and lay down and feel sicker than hell and croak, or he'll just hunt down something vicious to kill it. Just because he wants to be an ornery son of a bitch and go out swinging. Well, I was an ornery son of a bitch when it came to that one guy, Curiosity. And I went to the top of the tallest mountain I could reach. And it was easy for me to reach the top of a mountain because I talk to mountain climbers. And I went to the top of that mountain and I laid down on my belly And I said, I didn't say it, I yelled it. Curiosity, all right, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm tired, I'm ready to die. I'm curious why you want to kill me. And I'm curious to find out if there's life after death, because nobody knows. So come up here and do that goddamn thing with that hammer if you think you can climb this mountain. And Curiosity come up that mountain, and he was crying, and his heart looked like it was broken. And I realized I was looking at the most gentle thing that God made. Back then, we weren't sure about God either. And Curiosity got up to me, and he threw the hammer down. And I got to take off my hat. Curiosity threw the hammer down. He said, I'm not going to do it. God told me I got to kill one thing. God told me I got to hunt down the most curious thing that ever lived. And you're that thing. And I got to kill that one thing. And I'm not going to do it. And I felt sorry for this guy. I said, you could have told me this 20 years ago. I couldn't catch up with you 20 years ago. Well, you're going to have to get this killing done. Because I'm curious about death and everybody's got to die. So now that I'm ready, it's a favor and it'll satisfy my curiosity and you'll satisfy God. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to satisfy. I'm not going to kill a cat. And he sat down beside me, and that hammer was out of reach. And I was feeling sorry for this son of a bitch. And he reached down and he petted me just like a human pets his favorite cat. And I know a little bit about humans. And I said, come on, man. At least tell me what God's deal is. And God said, Curiosity said, God said to me, I've been watching you inspire people and other living things, and things that aren't even alive, to decide they want to live. I was there when you made life begin on Earth by making some chemicals curious what would happen if they got together. And you've always impressed me, Curiosity, and you got to be curious about something, and you got to be afraid of something. I'm going to do you a favor. What are you afraid of and what are you curious about that you don't know? And I said, I'm afraid to die because I don't know if there's life after death. I'm curious about life after death because I love being Curiosity. And if I die, nobody's ever going to want to learn anything they don't know. And it'll be such a loss. And God said, you're giving me a tall order. Because even God has limitations. I cannot answer your question with my words and make you understand. You got to kill something to know if there's life after death. And if you don't satisfy your curiosity and get over your fear, you can't be Curiosity anymore. You'll just be a thing that used to be Curiosity but can't make people curious. Or other living things. Or things that aren't living but can live. Someday you're going to make a rock curious enough to become alive. You're that good. But you can't do it if you don't kill the most curious thing you can find. And so I almost quit. But I thought what a loss it'd be. And I thought I would just find out who was the most curious thing. And it's you, a cat. And I'm supposed to kill you to solve the mystery of life and death. And keep curiosity alive in the world. And I can't do it. The world can end before I kill this cat. And I said, come on, cowboy up, you stupid son of a bitch. Get off your ass and pick up that hammer and bring that hammer down. I absolve you of all guilt. Still wouldn't do it. And I said, okay, it's time to do the flight or fight thing. Let's see what this guy's going to do. Because if he runs away, I'm going to chase him for 20 years. And he's going to get tired and turn around with that hammer. If I make him mad enough to fight, we'll get this done today. So I clawed him. I took him by surprise and I clawed him. And nothing or nobody had ever hurt him physically before. And he grabbed that hammer and he protected himself. And he brought that hammer down. And I died. I died with no pain. That's how scary he was and how hard he swung that hammer. I died with no pain. Everything went black. I saw a bright light. I blinked and I shook my head. And I was a kitten. I was a cat again. The first time I was a black cat. The second time I started out as a calico kitten. And then it was curiosity's time to say, what the hell? Dead things don't stay dead. And I said, oh shit, we solved the mystery. And this is in control, however you say that word. This is evidence that can't be denied. We solved the mystery. We know there's life after death. And we even know there's reincarnation. I'm a calico kitten, and you're satisfied curiosity. We saved the world. And then God showed up. And he said, if I had had anybody to pray to, I would have been praying that you two could pull this off. Now, a cat and curiosity know that there's life after death. Are you happy you did the job now, curiosity? And curiosity looked at that hammer and the blood on it, and he threw it. And it went into a lake. And then it ricocheted off the lake. And it landed right where Pikes Peak is today. That hammer is Pikes Peak. And curiosity said, no, I'm not glad I did the job. I'm madder than hell at you for giving me the job. And I'm mad at that cat for clawing me. But I'm going to forgive you. And God said, then I'm going to give you eternal life. You don't just get to live to the end of the world. You don't even just get to live till heaven and hell don't exist. And by the way, there's no hell. I went there and the cat went there. And all they were doing was sitting around warming themselves in the fire saying, one day I'm going to walk into that fire and it's going to burn up my body and my spirit will be free. It ain't going to hurt. That's what they call hell. When heaven and hell don't exist, curiosity will still exist. Someday, when there's a time when there's no living thing, there will still be energy and matter that is curious what it's like to be alive, and it's going to happen again and again and again. Life goes on forever because curiosity goes on forever, not because of God. God gave curiosity that job. And I said, man, what are you going to do for me? You don't got to do much. Just give me one more thing to be curious about, because I'm a kitten and I got to do something I've never done. Ah, cat. From this day forward, every cat shall have 9 lives. But you and you alone can reincarnate into anything that you want to be after your 9th life. So, Mr. Jediaiah J. Stone, the poet, I read one of your poems, and I'm going to be a poet. And today's my dying day. And I'm curious about what it's like to get hit by a semi-truck. And Highway 70 is 2 miles away. And it's going to look bad, but there will be roadkill for the buzzards. And I'm going to be born in Brazil. I'm going to be born a little girl to a poor family in Brazil. And before I'm 20, I'm going to be writing poetry that other people publish and read. And I might even get tough and become a performance poet. Might even learn English and come to the USA. I hope that you will do your best to stay alive till you're 20, because you're going to remember this day. I won't, because when you're reincarnated, you don't remember your past life till you die. I won't remember this conversation. Well, I'm a young Brazilian poet. But you need to bone up on your Portuguese, because you'll know when you hear me in concert. And now that you have listened to this story, and you know that you can trust a cat, and the listener will have to decide if they can trust a poet, and if there is trust, everybody knows there's life after death, God is real, cats are curious, and why curiosity killed the cat.